grandfather. Now I want to talk a little bit today about long touch. I brought it up before and even provided an application for it in July, but now I'd like to give those of you who are practicing it a little more to do. So for those of you who haven't seen the past videos or even the past material on the written blogs, we'll have some links up on the written blogs when this is posted there as well as YouTube. So, now here's what to do. You've established your capacity, perhaps, to do long touch. And I might even throw in, at the end of this video, some sort of remedial homework for those of you who are struggling with it a bit. But I'm going to assume right now that you've been able to do it. So now I'd like you to practice two things. One, feeling the difference in substance, meaning when you touch something, that it feels like it's solid, all right, or it feels like it's soft and almost not there, and even some combination of the two. I'll tell you how I want you to practice. For now, since distance doesn't matter, you can be 100 miles away, you can be 1,000,000,000 miles away. Okay? It doesn't make any difference. Just reach out, all right, and practice a bit with touching the moon. You have a pretty good idea of what the moon might be like if you've seen any of the videos from NASA and seen the astronauts attempting to run about in their heavy suits. And it gives you a general idea of what it might feel like. So I'm not going to say any more about that because I want you to have the opportunity to feel it for yourself. Okay? After you do that for 1 or 2 or 3 times over a period of about a week, then I want you to try something else. I'd like you to reach out to, say, Saturn or Jupiter, which has a dense gaseous atmosphere. And this is what I really want you to experience, all right? I want to build on what you've already done. So when you're reaching, again, always use this, all right? Even if you're left-handed, use your right hand in this form, all right? You see that? Okay. Then, as you're reaching out, I want you to notice when you're touching that very light atmosphere, or particularly notice if there's any motion in that gaseous part of it. And then slowly reach through there until you're touching the surface. If you get any impression that you're touching something that's moving or that it doesn't wish to be touched, pull back completely out of the gaseous part of the atmosphere and put your hand through another place. We can't rule out the possibility that there might be a being there, exploring, passing through, what have you. And anytime you feel something and it doesn't feel good to you, it doesn't necessarily mean it's hazardous to you, because when you're using long touch, basically it's pretty safe. If you're ever unsure about that, then you can reach through the sun. I think I mentioned that someplace, but if not, then simply what you do is you do your long touch through the sun. You aim your arm up towards the sun. It's not going to be hot, okay? And when your arm gets to the sun, then from there, going through the sun, onto the thing you're meant to touch, the sun will just feel very light. But it also gives you light, meaning L-I-T-E, light. It doesn't weigh much. It won't have much of an impact on your arm. So the thing to do then is, when you're through that gaseous cloud, I mostly want you to experience the change in density. That was a factor in the July video that was put up on the Explorer Race blog under the link of extending. In extending, one of the things you're doing is noticing the change of density. Remember, everything we do here builds on something else. And to a degree, these videos are a bit redundant to those of you who've studied the written blogs, but I'm just doing it this way in order to create a greater sense of contact and a little personal relationship, you might say. So, after you've noticed that change of density, just pull your arm back out, and then you can practice with other planets in this solar system. Just keep it to this solar system, all right? And don't make an effort to reach towards the sun as the center of this solar system. If you want to touch the sun using long touch, when it's in the sky and you can see it, that's when to reach towards it. You might think there's not much of a difference, but say you're reaching towards Mercury and Venus and all of that, going towards the sun. If you do that, your mind might tell you that the sun is hot. But if you reach towards it in the sky and don't look, never look at the sun, okay? You can close your eyes when you're reaching towards the sun in the sky. You're going to notice that it's light. That's how it'll strike you, that it's light. And you won't really think about it being hot. I don't want your minds playing tricks on you, okay? So, it's a fine point, but needs to be mentioned. Now, that's your homework, those of you who are a little more advanced in this practice. Now, I want to give some of you who might be struggling with this concept kind of, I made a joke before, remedial training, but of course this is very advanced work. I want to give you something that might be a little more understandable. And to do this, I recommend that you lay down on your bed, or if you have a recliner chair, you can relax in the recliner chair. And I want you to look up at the ceiling, okay? There can be anything on the ceiling except a mirror. If there's a mirror on the ceiling, it won't work very good. So look someplace that has, say, just a regular ceiling with, say, a light fixture or a ceiling fan, anything like that. And what I want you to do is to reach physically, okay? Reach with your arm in that position I mentioned before. Reach towards that light fixture or that ceiling fan, or even just some spot on the ceiling. But I like the idea of a light fixture or a ceiling fan because there's more contour involved. And just start touching it. Of course, you cannot physically touch it. I don't want you to physically touch it. I want you to imagine physically touching it while you're reaching for it. This helps you to understand the concept mentally that you're stretching, you might say. You don't go out of your physical body, for those of you who do anything astral. You stay in your physical body because you want to retain your sense of touch, all right, on a personal level. So you're just reaching towards that light fixture or ceiling fan, and you're moving your hand around the contours of it. You see, like that? You're moving your hand, you're exploring the contours of the light fixture or whatever you're looking at on the ceiling. The reason that will work at some point for you is that there are many opportunities. You may notice it. Don't do it while you're talking on the phone, okay? Don't do it while you're doing anything else, because the whole point is that you're learning how to concentrate on one thing. A lot of the work that's on the written teaching blogs and on the video YouTube blog is entirely about learning how to concentrate on one thing, practicing that one thing, and focusing on that one thing. That's why I tend to talk about one thing in a video, unless it's a prediction or something like that. So that's your homework for today, and I hope you enjoy it. We'll build on this in time. or we may do other things. And we'll get back to more training on seeing, also known as long vision, soon. Good life.